Age of Origins.
Greetings, everyone. Today I'm going to talk about commander skills in Age of Origins. Whether you're a new player, mid-level, or even more experienced, this guide should definitely help you out. However, I'll be focusing mostly on new players who have just started the game. If you're in a peaceful state though, even if you're not, I would highly recommend avoiding the war tree at the beginning, unless you're already in the mid-game or truly need it. The reason is that the development tree is extremely useful early on. For example, it starts with skills like increasing building speed and boosting your load capacity, which helps when gathering resources. This is one of the most important skills early on, and I'll explain later why it's crucial. Personally, I have two builds when it comes to the development tree. The first focuses on production. I choose the production path and skip the mobility skills. Some players might disagree with this approach, but I can't log in more than once a day. After completing my tasks, I log out until the next day. I understand that if you're a very active player, the mobility route is much better because it allows for quicker recovery and faster movement on the map. However, if you're busy and real life takes priority, I recommend focusing on production instead. This build prioritizes resource production and makes the most of your limited login time. You have here increase from food production, which is really extremely important early on, at least for the first 14. It's going to boost you massively, and I'm going to show you why. Then I went for the oil, went all the way, and got the building construction. This is, by the way, level 27. We are still very early in this stage, but I have been very active with killing monsters, etc., and finishing quests, which allows me to get a lot of XP, and I am higher level than most of the players in here. Now, I'll continue progressing through the development tree while ignoring mobility recovery. Let me clarify again, this build is specifically for players who want to grow faster but have limited time to spend in the game. Mobility can definitely help speed things up, potentially cutting your travel time in half. However, if you're not using it regularly, it becomes pointless. If you don't have the time to take full advantage of mobility, then there's no real benefit to investing in it. For my build, I chose the production path and progressed all the way to steel production and neural output II. Since my playtime is limited, this approach maximizes my growth by focusing on resource production. This is the build I'm currently running, and it works well for my playstyle. So what does this build actually do? I am still not even maxed out in my mining, but I would like to show you how much I am getting per hour. This is only per hour, so it's almost 100k for each of the resources and almost 17k for the steel, and mineral is like 8k, and this is huge, believe me. Not only is this useful, but every hour I can just go and sell the resources and switch these resources for even more boosts like Commander XP, speed ups, or leader batches, anything you could basically wish for. This is why I prefer this build. I always make sure to purchase and refresh with my gold to maximize efficiency. This way I can save a lot of fuel. I'm saving this fuel for a specific purpose. When the exchange event comes around, I'll be able to use all of it to upgrade my commander or other resources. For example, take a look at my Commander XP. I have a lot of Commander XP, and most of it comes from trading in the black market. Let me show you my current rank. Even though I don't have high mobility, I've maintained a good position thanks to completing quests. If we check the nation ranks and look at commander level, I'm currently ranked 2nd. The player in first place has a level of 27, so I'm not far behind, and I should be able to catch up easily. Now, I still have some mobility, but in my region, it's not that great. However, I prefer this build because I'm not very active. With this setup, my stamina regenerates fully after about 8 hours. If you can log in 2 or 3 times a day, this build works fine. If I had invested in mobility, my stamina recovery would be faster, cutting it down to 4 hours. But that would require logging in every 4 hours, which I simply don't have time for. So if you have the time to log in frequently, feel free to follow the mobility path. However, for most players who are less active, I'd still recommend focusing on production talents. Okay, you don't like it? Let's say you want the war bath. So how do you actually set your talents and points? You would obviously focus first on your troop type. For example, if you are running a melee main, then you obviously need to take the melee skills first. If you are running low or long range, you should obviously take the long range skills, etc. It's all the same when you start with something, you have to pick it, even the health. You go for long range defense, increase the capacity, but if you pay attention, it all basically increases your attack. If you are in a peaceful state, try to get into a stronger alliance if possible. This would definitely help you. Not the war, the development tree will help you much more than the war, because war will become very useful once you start unlocking this past expansion. And if you are one of those guys who actually likes to fight battles, SOS can be used once per day. It will never allow your troops to die. Then, of course, Slaughter is one of the thick moves. It basically kills the enemy troops even if they have a hospital. Usually when you attack someone and their troops are wounded, you don't kill their troops, but this one allows you to kill 10% of the troops, which is supposed to be wanted, of course, whether it is any resource style or a city. It is 1 time per day. As for SOS, keep in mind it is really based on your hospital, so if your troops are supposed to die, they will go to the hospital. However, if your hospital capacity is lower than the amount you send, some of these troops will die forever. In conclusion, if you're a less active player, prioritizing production talents over mobility will help you grow more efficiently in Age of Origins. That's it, guys, and have a wonderful day.